Woo! What's going on? What's going on? Damn, we had a good night of boxing on Saturday. You know, hope everybody enjoyed that and enjoyed the weekend. But anyway, before we get into the whole Tank thing, we had Lubin and we had Rosario go up against each other. I thought Rosario was gonna knock Lubin out. That was my train of thinking. I thought it was gonna be a fight where Lubin was gonna be, ahead with his boxing skills and so. But I thought eventually Rosario was gonna catch him. I thought Rosario was gonna have the same resilience as he did in the Charlo fight. But he physically wasn't the same in that fight as it was in the Charlo fight. It seemed as if a fly could touch this guy's body and he would curl up. This dude's getting touched and he's just shaking and convulsing and some weird stuff from like some light shots, when just in his previous fight he was able to take a lot of heavy ass shots and just keep moving. And it took a lot in order to finally get him into the space where he got to the ground. So I think that was one of the things I was kind of in the back of my head, like, well, we don't know physiologically where he's gonna be after what happened to him, and in such a short time that he's fighting since getting that kind of beat down. So, but I still thought, nah, he can do it, and he almost did. He did clip Lubin, got him all shaky, but then he couldn't put the shots together to take him out of there. If he caught him out one more time, he really would have got him on Queer Street, and he would have been able to put him down. But it didn't happen. And Lubin withstood the shot, recovered, he came back, and he put Rosario down and got the victory. Man, Rosario he didn't look the same. I don't know if it was a situation where, he had let his weight kind of balloon up, and sometimes when people cut down, a lot of weight in a short period of time, and they just end up, somebody could just push you with a finger and, you're falling over. I don't know if it was that type of situation or if he's just not the same fighter since taking on Charlo. But anyway, Rosario did what he had to do. Lubin did what he had to do, and he got the victory. Now, next after that was, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Barrios, which was the fight that everybody was looking forward to this month. That's the fight. That was the fight. That's the fight everybody was talking about. And it's kind of crazy to me when it comes to the likes of, let's say, like the Lomachenko, like the Taylors, like the Teofimo Lopez's, all of them trying to trash the fight and trying to bash Tank for this bout that he's taking. It's the weirdest thing to me. It's like, you three all together, if we combined all your gates, you're not doing a quarter of what what's going to do for this fight. You're not even doing a quarter, not even 25% of what this man did for that particular fight. When you're talking about viewerships, even someone like a Taylor, like, dude, this guy's all access. Okay, Lomachenko's fight, this guy's all access did more than what's good of viewerships that you guys got for y'all fights. Just forget his all access. And the fact that he's on pay-per-view, the fact that he got 16,500 plus people, the fact that this is the fight that everybody was talking about, and the level of interest that was in this fight, clearly he set up a good fight. Clearly he set up a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Clearly people don't really give a damn about what y'all talking about. Oh, that's a fake belt. Oh, that's not a real belt. Oh, who is this guy? Man, wait, you might not know who this guy is, but clearly a whole lot of people, he must have something if all these people are interested in this fight. He must have something. The fight's over now. Somebody else got a knockout last night on Saturday. No one's talking about that knockout, though. No one's even talking about that fight. The only thing anybody's talking about is this. So clearly he was doing something right. So for you to sit there and just try to trash and bash him, to me, it's it's off base to me personally, and it makes no sense. But as far as the fight itself, Tank, he started out a little slow, and he said later on too that he didn't want to go in too hard. He didn't want to put himself into a space where he gets hit, he gets clipped by this guy, and he's out of there, or he gets hurt. Basically, he was putting a lot of respect on this dude, especially with his skill set, with his power, and also not that, Also, just due to the fact that he's at 140 pounds. He's like, nah, this guy's a 140 pounder. You know what I'm saying? He's in his head's like, nah, things are different up here. This ain't 130. This ain't 135. You know, it's different up here. So I gotta be on point, and I gotta be smart. You know, and I gotta be intelligent with the, you know, with how I do this. So a couple of rounds, he's kind of just filling him out. And I don't know. People were talking about how some people were talking about, oh, he was down 5-0, 4-1. He was not down no damn 5-0, 4-1. I know that. He might have been slightly down after the first 5 rounds? Maybe. But people also got to realize that this, you know what I'm saying, Barrios, a lot of his shots weren't landing. You know, a lot of the shots, Tank was either slipping or he was catching him with his arms. You hit somebody in the arm, that doesn't count. You catch him on the arm, those don't count as points in a fight. So Tank was doing that. Tank was moving backwards also for those first couple of rounds, 4+ rounds or so, 3-4 rounds or so. But then after that, he started to pick the pace up. And in my head too, I was like, all right, okay, you're filling him out, but you got to start picking up the pace now. You know what I mean? It's getting, you're like in round 4 now, going into round 5. You got to stop, you know, picking it up a little bit. And he did. He started to do that. He started pouring at the jab, keeping the man from hitting him with the jab. And some people have said that, oh well, no, he didn't really stop the jab. You know, it wasn't really about him stopping the jab. It was about him, you know what I'm saying, getting into range. Well, yeah, of course it's about him getting into range, but you have to stop the jab in order to get into range. So yes, when he was doing that, when he was pawing at it and it was keeping it down, yes, it was to stop the jab, so he could get into range. And then boop, he hit Barrios with a couple of shots, which, you know, brought Barrios into attention and he started getting Barrios, you know, he started pushing Barrios backwards. He stopped going, you know, backwards himself, and he started to push the issue. The shorter, lighter man, you know, the guy that probably has 15, 20 pounds weight disadvantage in that fight, he started pushing the issue, you know, and putting the pressure on a little bit. But, you know, but still being smart, still being intelligent about it, and still not necessarily going all the way like we've seen him do in his other fights. Now, he was up on the cards. He was up on the cards already, regardless of what other people might have thought, regardless of what Farhood, whatever, was putting out there. According to the judges' cards, he was up on the cards. In the 8th round, he was able to clip Barrios with a shot Barrios didn't see, just like Santa Cruz. He caught Santa Cruz with a punch that Santa Cruz didn't see, caught him and put him down with that, you know, and then put him down again. Then after that, he tried to get him out of there. But I think he was trying to push the issue a little bit too much. He wasn't timing his shots correctly. He started missing a lot, and Barrios got out that round. And so the next round, I think he kind of took it off a little bit. He lost that round. He took it off, like kind of just chilled, and then he started putting in work again. He did get hit with a shot, which at first looked like it was something, but it ended up not being anything. It looked like it was something. The way that, you know, Tank dropped into the ropes, but then he got up, started shaking his head, moving around. He showed that he was fine. Now, it was round 10 or around 10 going. It was like, I think, around 10 going into 11. You know, I guess because the cards said that he was down, Floyd Mayweather came over there and told him that, yo, you're down. You know what I'm saying? You're down on the unofficial card. You know what I'm saying? You need to push up. You need to push the issue. You need to push the issue. And the thing with that is that some people also said that, oh, well, Floyd was wrong for doing that, because then, you know, he was putting, you know, Tank went out there and put himself into danger. Tank didn't go out there and put himself into danger. What Tank did in round 11 is no different than what he did into the Santa Cruz fight. Tank is somebody that can push the issue, do it in an intelligent way, not necessarily put himself into a space of harm, and still get you out of there. That's a skill set that he's had his entire career, and we've seen him do it over and over and over again. You know, and as far as him pushing the pace, that was something that his corner was trying to get him to do anyway. His corner was trying to get him to do that, you know, but they couldn't get him to do that. But when Floyd, and he thanked Floyd, actually, thanked Floyd. It's like, you know, he thanked him because he motivated him to, you know, to push himself into another gear. So he ended up helping out the corner just due to the fact that, you know, I mean, just, Tank wasn't doing what they wanted him to do. You know, and even the trainer later on said that, you know what, I'm getting frustrated because he's not doing what we want him to do because we're seeing all these things that he can take advantage of, you know. But he's like, but at the same time, I got to remember for next time. Now I learned something new, that even though I'm telling him something, I don't know what he's thinking in his head. I don't know what's going in between his brain. And what's going on between Tank's brain is that I don't know what this dude probably has. This guy might just be playing around. He might not be putting everything into these shots, you know. So I don't know what he might necessarily have. And I got to be careful so I don't get caught with something crazy. That's what he was thinking in his head. But when after Floyd talked to him, he pushed it to that next level. And he did what his corner actually wanted him to do. So he wasn't putting himself into danger. He was actually doing what his corner was trying to get him to do for rounds in that fight. You know, for most of that fight. And he pushed the pressure, pushed the pace, put that man down. You know, the man got up. He put the man down again with a body shot. And then later on, he caught him with another shot. And he was right over him where he could have caught him with another one and put him down again, but the ref stepped in. And the ref kind of like half-heartedly stuff. He like stepped in, and then Tank is running off. And I'm like, nah, you got to stop the fight now. You can't do that and then not stop the fight because, you know, Tank was in position to really take this guy out, to really, really hurt him, you know? And so then the ref stopped the fight. And according to the ref, after he said he stopped in the fight, Barrios said, I'm done. Barrios had said that I'm done, and his corner didn't complain about that stoppage because they knew what was about to happen. His dude got clipped. He's kind of hunched over. You know, he's wide open for Tank to hit him. Wide open, not defending himself, hands down. Tank catches him again right there. All that's going to happen is that kid's going to get hurt. He's going to be curled up on the freaking floor. You know what I mean? For what? So it was definitely 100%. It was a great stoppage by that ref. It was a great stoppage by that ref. And the corner didn't complain because they understood that as well. Now, what's next for Tank? I don't know. When it comes to Teofimo and Lomachenko, they keep talking like they want smoke, but the reality is they already have a fight set up against each other. So that's all bullish. You know what I mean? That's all bullish. As far as Devin Haney and Tank, Floyd Mayweather got a lot of love for Devin Haney. He's known that kid since he was real young. People have this assumption that he's keeping, quote, Tank away from him. I don't believe that's the case. I believe he believes Tank is fine. Tank is financially in a great space. Career-wise, he's progressing and he's doing good. And I think he wants the same for Devin Haney. You know, he wants Devin Haney to have a great career too. You know, he wants him to make his money, you know, and continue to progress and they can keep doing his thing. But at the same time, I believe that he understands there's levels to this, and I believe he understands what will happen to Devin Haney if he fights St. Gervonta Tank Davis. And he doesn't want that to happen to Devin Haney. Even when Tank and Devin Haney were beefing and they're talking and they're going back and forth, Devin Haney was still in Mayweather gym. Floyd Mayweather was still working with him, still training him, working with him on different things because he got a lot of love for that kid. And he doesn't want to see either one of them fight each other. He just wants them to see both of them do great. So I don't see that fight happening either, you know, more because of personal reasons when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. So, you know, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly, you know, what he's going to do. People say, oh, well, he should fight Taylor. Reality is Taylor's the same thing. He signed a Top Rank. They're going to keep that in-house. Taylor's going to go up and fight Terence Crawford after he signs with Top Rank. Or they're going to wait for Teofimo Lopez. If he beats Lomachenko again in a pay-per-view, they're going to have him then go up, move up to 140, and then have them to do a bout between those guys. But he's going to keep that in-house. So, I mean, Taylor can talk all he wants, and Taylor already has a fight set up as well. See, a lot of these guys ain't talking, but they all have fights set up. That's number one. And number two, they already know what's set up for their future. So they all know that they're talking out their asses. You know, they're all talking BS. You know, but I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But whatever it is, from what I've seen in the last two fights, whatever it is, it's going to be big. You know, and we'll see. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.